What's good, Internet? It's your boy Jake here, dumb as ever. And in today's video, we're gonna do a video review of Transformers Legacy United or Evolution Origins Wheeljack. Now, this guy is a Target exclusive, so you can only get him at Target exclusive. Just like the Origins Bumblebee and Jazz that came out a couple years ago. And this guy kind of completes the trifecta as far as I know. I mean, maybe they'll do an Origins Soundwave, but I kind of doubt it. It kind of completes the Cybertronian vehicle modes that we saw on in the G1 show in the first episode. That's kind of what these are meant to be. And I remember people asking for this Wheeljack alt mode for a long time. Now, if you don't know me that well, you may not know that I've become very picky about what I'm willing to buy. Not because I think Hasbro doesn't do a good job on quality or anything like that. I mean, sometimes they miss the mark, that's for sure. But in general, I'm just a Hasbro guy. I just buy Hasbro stuff. I don't buy third-party stuff generally. But the main reason I wanted this guy was because Perspective N did a review on it, and he was very positive towards it, and I was kind of surprised by that. And I just wanted to check it out. I did want a Wheeljack figure. Like, the way I collect these days is that I will only buy, a couple versions of one character, and usually it's going to be like a G1 sort of looking version and a version from a continuity I like. So if they made like a Dark of the Moon Q, I would probably pick up that Wheeljack. I mean, I know he's Q, but he's also Wheeljack. It's kind of a weird thing. Just as an example. So this Wheeljack, I didn't like how he looked in pictures, and I'm going to be honest, he photographs terribly, but he looks really good in person, and he's really nice to hold in person. We're starting off in vehicle mode here, and it's obviously very boxy, very kind of adorable, in my opinion. I really dig this mode. I like it a lot more than I thought I was going to. I didn't think I was gonna hate it, but I am kind of a Cybertronian vehicle mode hater. Mostly because it's very annoying for me to transform something that turns into something else that doesn't exist. Like, when you're transforming a robot into like a recognizable vehicle, you might know that the wheels go here and that sort of stuff, but when there's no wheels, or in the like Studio Series Megatron, the concept one, like, he turns into a jet and a tank, and they're not based on real vehicles, so it's like you can't really guess how to transform that guy. But I was able to guess how to transform this guy, actually. He's kind of interesting. I also watched the Dr. Lockdown and Perspective N collab review on this guy, and Dr. Lockdown used a term I wasn't familiar with called origami paneling, or origami transformation, which is basically the idea that the character is made up of a whole bunch of little panels. You have to unfold the panels, and that is how you transform this guy. And I can see why you might not like that, but for me personally, it actually made it pretty fun to transform and puzzle out, because you're just basically taking like these large pieces and trying to fit them together. And part of the fun for Transformers to me is the puzzle aspect. I'm not particularly good at them. If you watch my streams on my main channel, I do a thing where I'll unbox a toy and then I will try to transform it. And oftentimes it, it goes awry, because I am just absolutely terrible at figuring out, especially the newer Transformers. I grew up with Armada. That was the main one I grew up in, like the '07 movie. And I'm gonna be honest, things were just easier back then. I like once it got into Revenge of the Fallen, where that stuff started becoming super complicated. I mean, I loved it at the time, but it was always a bit too complicated for me. And even simple stuff like this is a little rough. Like I could not figure out the arms without taking a look at the box art to see get an idea of how they might be transformed. And the way the arms transform is probably the most clever thing about it. So these little razor things are separate pieces, and the arms sort of just open up and fold over each other in an interesting way. Like that's the forearm, and then this is a piece of the forearm. So that's the one interesting note maybe for most people. But I like all the origami and plant paneling. Oh, what the heck? Rat trap, how do you get in there? Yeah, there is a gimmick with this guy where you're meant to be able to put the Origins Bumblebee back here. I don't own that Origins Bumblebee. If they ever release it again, I'll probably buy it, to be honest, just to do that. But that is a fun little nod to the first episode of the cartoon, because Bumblebee kind of loads up. You have to fold up the Bumblebee, so it's not exactly 1-to-1, but it's still a fun feature. I like anything like that. And he kind of just turns into a box, which is interesting. I like that. He's just fun to hold for me. Like, I don't know, something about the smoothness of it and the shaping and how light it is and the fact that it's just kind of empty. I don't know. It's like kind of a fun stim toy for me just to like feel it. He does come with a few things. So like I said, he's got these little shearing tools there from the cartoon, and they kind of complete the look a little bit. And then he's also got a blaster here that I just like to pop on the top. I don't mind that he has a blaster. Sometimes I don't like to, like if it's like a Ferrari or something, I'm not gonna put a gun on top because it's ridiculous. But for a Cybertronian vehicle, I'm fine with that. And then he's got this blast shield sort of effect. Again, I'm assuming from the show, I can't quite remember, but this clips on. It's really weird. It comes out of the box like it comes sorry, I'm stumbling over my words. The way it works is that it can also be like a road for him to drive on, I guess, or like a little display piece, if you don't want to have it in this blast shield mode. Sort of like this, but these parts are connected here. I'm not gonna do it because it's annoying, but it comes out the box in that form instead of this form, and I was so confused when I opened it. I was like, is this incorrectly like put together? And one of my channel members, centipede.gov, they also did the art for my channel, the new like icon, and they have also done the thumbnail art for the Back Kibble podcast. They were like, yeah, it comes in the box like that. They just want you to break it, and it's clear plastic. I don't know, it's a little weird, man. And I don't really like it as an accessory, so yeah. But that's the vehicle mode, and now I am going to transform it into robot mode off camera. Okay, and here he is in robot mode, looking spiffy. Has his iconic sort of face here, this fins and these lines. The top of his head always makes me think of the Digimon Savers Digivice. It kind of has a similar like 3 things. I don't know. Does anyone else get that? That's kind of a random comparison, but he's got his ear fins. He's got very dark blue eyes. Very, very mysterious. He's got his fins here. He definitely looks like Wheeljack. The backpack is a little bit massive. Sorry if you can hear crickets there. I feed they're for my girlfriend's pet leopard gecko. But he has a pretty massive backpack, but this is a hot take. I just don't know about sports car alt mode for Wheeljack. Like, as a character, you'd think he'd turn into something like a tow truck or a van. A van kind of makes sense. But a tow truck, like, in my mind, Wheeljack should look like Battletrap from Rise of the Beasts. Like, sort of a rundown tow truck sort of look. I don't know why he's a sports car. I'm thinking there was just like a Diaclone figure that turned into a sports car, so they made him that. But a van or a tow truck just makes more sense to me as a Wheeljack alt mode. So that's another reason I kind of like this guy. I like this guy more than the recent remake they've done. He was in that 5-pack. I don't know when he came out, but something about the chunkiness of this guy just kind of works for me. A big pack kind of works for me. Like, you'd think he'd keep a bunch of tools in there or something. That's just me headcanoning, though. Kibble. Shout out. His blaster here goes on his shoulder, which always looks awesome. But yeah, he's got okay articulation. His arms are probably the weakest thing here. Just single elbow. The kibble's a little annoying. But nothing tragic. I'm not gonna have this guy in any crazy poses anyway. And another thing I don't love is his knees like click in. So whenever they're not clicked in, it feels a little weird. And you have to take the knee out a little bit for transformation, and clicking it back in sometimes feels scary. It feels like you shouldn't be doing it. But I don't know, I like a Wheeljack with a little bit of chonk, man. I kind of dig his vibes. The things go back here. You can store them back here so you don't lose them. But yeah, I just it's kind of a weird thing. Like, once you have this guy in hand, you kind of get it. But if you're just watching a video, you're just like, he just doesn't look right. Or pictures and video, they give this guy no justice for some reason. I think it's a phenomenon that needs to be explored, because he's just not photogenic, but as a toy, he is really nice and really fun. But yeah, that's Wheeljack in a nutshell. Thanks for watching. Let me know if you liked the video. Let me know if you want me to review more figures. I probably will. I'd like to make it a staple here on the second channel to start reviewing figures in my own slow, sort of maybe a little bit boring way. I'm not a figure reviewer. I just kind of want to talk about them. I'm not trying to give a rating. I mean, I recommend this guy, but I could see why you wouldn't be into him. But yeah, that's my video on Transformers Origins Wheeljack. Please leave a like and subscribe. Check out the main channel. Check out the Back Kibble podcast. And yeah, thanks for watching.